Good morning and welcome to the show. Today we have the founder of MENA Speakers, which is the leading speaking bureau in the Middle East. She's also a founder of the tech platform Experts Market. She's the author of the book Leading Speakers. She's the communication expert and Natalie's mother, and just a wonderful woman, Saana Azzam. Saana, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Thank you very much for coming. It's a pleasure to have you here. We've known each other for quite a bit, but we've done a lot together. So finally, I get you on the table, on the chair, to ask you a lot of questions.
Good, I like it. Finally, the roles are reversed. Normally, I'm asking you questions.
So cool. Tell us who you are, a brief story, a background, and what you do right now.
Okay, great. So I'm the founder of MENA Speakers. It is the leading speakers bureau in the Middle East. We represent all these experts and thought leaders that share their knowledge on the global stages and now on the digital stages. So that's MENA Speakers. I've also created a tech platform called Experts Market, a place where agencies, event managers, corporations can book speakers digitally through a few clicks. You can find your perfect speaker at whatever rate you want. I've also written a book called Leading Speakers, and I do all things communication, basically. And I've been doing it for the past 10 years, either as a professional speaker myself, or now as a person who heads up an agency.
Great. So, by the way, the book is amazing. I suggest you to go buy it on Amazon. I believe you have it.
Yeah.
Go buy it, read it. It's great. So you said you started 10 years ago already, right? And do you consider yourself as a coach and as a speaker, as a public speaking coach? If yes, then how did you start making money as a coach yourself?
Great. I absolutely do consider myself to be a coach, more on the executive level style. So my background is I've been trained in communication, public speaking, presentation skills. So let's break it down. When we say public speaking, it's not just you standing up and kind of presenting. It's negotiation skills, it's having executive presence, it's the nonverbal communication. Yes, it's you pitching, it's building relationships. So really it's about your interaction, whether it's 1-to-1 or 1-to-100. And so that's what it boils down to. And I help people enhance that.
Okay, great. And I know that your background is in corporate world, banking, right?
Yeah.
So how was the transition? Like, we have a lot of people listening that, because of the COVID, they just want to move to the next career, and they're thinking about coaching, consulting. What would you suggest? How to start making money actually, and to go through the transition itself?
Okay, great. So let's talk about money. Great. One of the first things, if you want to make money for a service you're providing, many times I find that individuals in this field have a hard time asking for it. So if you ask, let's just have that as a starting point. And so I did create a lot of my content. I had been trained by different institutions formally, and I'd created my content, but now I needed to acid test it and see if it was good. First time around was one free. Second time around was very cheap. And then third time around, I'm going, okay, actually, this is magic that's working. And so I started giving myself promotions, basically, until I reached a point where I went, this is very commercial, this is top end, this is at parity with the value that I deliver, I'm getting great feedback. Okay, so if you keep getting great feedback, if somebody's paying a lot, they expect a lot. And so if they're doing that and they're still telling you, this is good, then maybe it's time to give you a promotion, because you can probably take a bit more because you're giving a lot of value along the way.
Great. And you said something about giving your services to corporates, which is B2B, and then I know you also do B2C.
Very much.
So my question is, how do you think important it is to structure your strategy? Should you focus on one segment? How should you go? Is it super niche or broad? What do you think about that?
So I'm not for broad in general. The more you're specialized and the more you build a blue ocean strategy, the easier it is going to be for everyone to refer clients over to you, even your own competitors. For example, if you're specialized in, say you're a hairdresser, lots of hairdressers out there. If you're the hairdresser for kids between 4 to 6 years old only, and the whole experience in your salon is catered to that, there's candy, there's toys, all your equipment is child friendly, then even if you have a competitor next door, they're going to prefer sending the kids over to you. So yes, my sentiment is go niche to a degree where other can refer individuals over to you.
Okay, so you're saying to go super niche, then if it's from 4 to 6 kids, it's super niche, and then become a pro in that.
Yeah.
But how do you understand at the beginning, like what niche to choose?
Yeah, you're right. And it has to be your ikigai. Like what
Can you explain a little bit more on that? Because
Yeah.
it's a lovely strategy.
Sure. So it's a combination of things. It's what you're good at. If you don't like kids, then maybe you don't want to be doing that. So it's what you're good at, and then what the market wants, and in a sense, what is commercially viable. So it's like an intersection of 3 different things. And so you have to be great at it, hugely interested in it. The market should be demanding it as well. So if you're saying, I want to do something that nobody's coming to, even though you're marketing it, and you've been doing it for a while, and a while is a big discussion of what that means, whether that's 1 month, 3 months, or 1 year, nobody's connecting with you, then maybe you need to revisit your value proposition and your positioning. So let the market give you feedback.
Okay. Great. And regarding the feedback, now I'm going to move to a point where a lot of people feel, especially in coaching and consulting industry, stuck.
Yeah.
The pricing strategy.
Ooh.
So a lot of coaches, they charge per hour, right, on the market, and they think it's the right thing to do, which I don't believe that's the right thing to do, because the customer, anyways, I'm going to explain it later, my point of view. What is your point of view? How do you price your products? If it's services, if it's not a book, right, how do you price it? And how do you understand what is the right price to charge the client, to ask for?
Yeah, great question. All right. So for me, it's a question of integrity. I want to work with a client until they have achieved the results that I am aware that they can achieve. They might not know that, but I know that because I've been through enough case studies and examples, and so I know where excellence lies. And I want them to hit that. So when they come to me saying, hey, we want to be better communicators, but I only have 3 hours, I'll go, I'm sorry, like I cannot do that because we're not going to be able to achieve excellence within that period of time. You can come back to me with this request after you've gone through my program, because then I have a foundation and that is so robust and so strong. And so anything else would be like a top-up or additional support. But I would actually advise them to not do it, and then I would explain why I don't think they should. And if they agree, great. If they don't, then it's not a client that I'd like to work with. Because as somebody who provides a service, we put our neck on the line. If I don't do a good job, or if I do a good job, then they will bring other clients. If I do something that's not so great, then the referrals are going to go down. The reputation, I'm running a reputational risk, and honestly, it just doesn't make sense. So I'd rather say goodbye to that revenue and focus on building a strong tribe of individuals that are aiming for excellence when it comes to their communication.
So you said that your hat is on the line, right? And you make sure that the client goes to the point B, which is, the final destination they want to be, because they don't buy your time. Right?
No.
They buy where they want to be. They buy the result itself.
Love it.
So how do you make sure, first of all, that they get to the result? And second of all, what do you think? I know what you think, because I think the same, of the giving money back, to people that are not happy with what they achieved. What's your take on that?
Fantastic. I love it. Great question. I love it. Yeah, so you actually, I was going to say, it's about results. So we do have this package where I say, it's like 4 sessions, 3 hours each. Okay, and then somebody will go, that's 12 hours. Great. But then I make sure that they understand you might be done in 10 hours. right? Because I'm not wasting your time. Like, you want a certain result, and I want a certain result for you, which is, again, aimed for excellence. That could happen within 9-10 hours. That could happen within 14-15 hours. Generally, it is on the lower side, but just to make sure that this is what we're aiming for, the result, not the time. And so what happens is very interesting here. It will attract, or it will connect with the right type of client that I also like to work with, and it's exciting for me. Somebody's this mindful. Your question was?
My question was, so the first one is you answered it already, and the second one is about giving money back.
Oh, money
if
back,
they're
yeah.
not happy
100%.
with the results.
Sure.
You're good with that.
Yeah.
I think it's a great strategy because it shows how confident you are
Yeah.
in what you do, and
Yeah.
that you can deliver actually, and you are, it's your head on the line. You are here for a long
Absolutely.
time, and people know you, and
Yeah.
there's, if people are not happy, they should not pay money. That's what I believe.
Yeah,
right?
sure. I mean, if somebody's providing a service, especially in the field that we're in, I find that they should be able to use these type of statements. Have you ever been in a position where you've been forced to give somebody money back? Or
Never.
Neither have I.
Never.
But that's also because I know you go above and beyond at every touch point. And you work with commitment and passion. And so if somebody's buying a service and they come with that, wow, it's very powerful.
There's a saying, one great marketing guy basically said, your bold promise that you give to the client,
Yeah.
if it doesn't keep you up at night, then you're doing your own business.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
and if it doesn't keep you up at night, so if it doesn't work, you'd have to pay money back, and it should keep you up at night so you deliver that service. And I think this is where the extra level that you mentioned comes, and this is how you achieved what you achieved basically.
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure.
my favorite question: how do you get clients? So first of all, let's get down to the person that is just starting out, right? The first client, the second client. How do you get them? Where do you find them? What's your strategy?
Okay, great. So when I started training people in public speaking and charging, so my first paid client, first one was free, only one, and then I said, no, I value my time. So second one came through Facebook. And my strategy was actually just type something on Facebook and see if anybody responds to it, and I did, and then I engaged in a few conversations there. So that's how I started, through social media. And that could be LinkedIn, Instagram, any social media. It could be a paid ad. Lots of ways to generate leads. I find the easiest always comes from friends and family in the beginning, like a very close network. And I've seen that from others when they ask, like, hey, do you know somebody who might need, could you refer somebody over? That tends to be a great initial approach. Now, thankfully, we have like a newsletter, a database, referrals. Referrals is the biggest compliment ever. I love it. I'm so grateful. I feel moved every time. Every time somebody says, hey, here's my friend, or here's my sister, brother, whoever. Oh, like, it's super flattering. I'm very humbled and grateful every time that happens.
Great that you've mentioned here that point, because we've done the research, and a lot of people said, a lot of coaches, consultants, they said that referral is the biggest contributor to their business.
Yeah.
What's your strategy? How do you make sure that people will actually refer to you? How do you make that happen? And if they do, they will use the right wording and explanation, because a lot of people might see your service as something you maybe don't position yourself. Is it?
Yeah. So I'll divide it.
Okay.
The first 2 years, I didn't do anything.
Okay.
I didn't ask. I was a bit embarrassed.
Okay.
Like, okay, if I open the door, what if they didn't like it and all of that? So first 2 years, I was shying away. And then year number 3, I had a little mindset shift, which aligns with who I am, and feedback is my fuel. Like, I love growing. So I went out and I actually said, what did you think? How can I improve? Like, how can I learn? And then I got raving reviews. Thank you so much. And feedback, of course. And I said, all right, well, if you liked it, do you know somebody else would also need this? Because apparently something here is happening. If they come and get coached, all of a sudden their careers are moving faster, their influence is higher, they're able to communicate and speak up better. So this is a value to a person. How can we help somebody else who might need this? So asking the question. So it normally goes hand in hand with asking for feedback, and then if you liked it, do you know somebody else who would like to have it? Now, number three, what we did now on year 4 is we actually said, here's a referral program. If you know somebody, we're happy to compensate you as well because we'll grow together.
Great. So number 1, ask for feedback,
Yeah.
right? To grow yourself.
Yeah.
Number 2 is ask for a referral, right?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask for a referral. And number 3, actually, you've implemented the referral program where
Yeah.
you pay people if they refer to your business. Great.
Definitely.
So coming back to what you said at the beginning, you said I was using Facebook and all of the social media.
Yeah.
I know you're very hard, not hard, active on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
How LinkedIn is working for you and how is it generating business? And if it does, what tips have you got for us?
LinkedIn is now on fire. It's just the best platform, hands down, at this point in time. It doesn't mean that Instagram and Facebook aren't good. And I've used TikTok a little bit, but that's just for fun and giggles, you know. You won't be so impressed by my dancing. Yeah, so LinkedIn is just incredible. You can approach anybody, and most of the time they will respond to you. Every video is just amazing traction. Like I have some posts, I can't even believe it, like 70,000 views, like written posts, not even videos, where I'm just sharing some thoughts and a picture, and it's like, I didn't even think twice about it, and it just went viral. Some videos as well, like the videos is just a very beautiful medium. Just make sure that you're there, you're posting frequently, and that you're having conversations. So if somebody asks a question, just respond in a timely manner.
I believe there was a question asked during your last challenge.
Yeah.
Like how important is to give the call to action at the end of like your video, your article, all of that. Can you elaborate more on that? Because people do write articles, they do a lot of this stuff, but they don't see the result. Maybe it's the same thing with asking to click on the link, asking to refer, and asking to do something.
Yeah. And I love that you asked the question, and just full disclosure, I had a hard time going for a hard pitch at the end of the conversation. Yeah, so it was something that we discussed, like, Vlad, how do I do this? Like, how do I express it? And I didn't want to sound too salesy, and I don't like that. I like serving people. So I thought that was an interesting moment for my own personal development. It's super important to actually be clear and saying, this is the value that I'm offering you. If you want this, here you go. Sign up here and tell people what to do because you're helping them. So I think it's instrumental for conversions, for sales. It's just a psychological barrier, and it's actually not that hard, especially if you have somebody who says, this is the script you can use. Yeah.
And yeah, yesterday I had a discussion with a lady. She doesn't have anything to sell, but she was doing the webinar basically without having anything to sell, which was another story.
Yeah.
But at least we've discussed the fact that if she doesn't have anything to sell, she at least should ask people to follow her on LinkedIn or Instagram or anywhere. Any call to action that, because you did the work, right? You provided the value, so people should do something and respond. And if you've done a great job, they will respond for sure.
Yeah, so one of the greatest metrics of if you've done a great job on socials, it's not if they're liking. I think a lot of us just like. It's if they're sharing. That for me is the ultimate, like, okay, now I've done something great. Or if you're actually getting the time investment of somebody going into your profile and actually sending a message, then you know you've hit an impact. But needless to say, like a call to action is instrumental if you're running a business, whether that's to a regular post or in a video format, or if you're pitching on stage, just to be comfortable in saying, this is what you can do to your followers, this is how I can help you further.
Got it. Let's go back to the pricing, because I know you're selling a lot of high ticket, high ticket tickets, high price tickets.
Yeah.
So what's your strategy for it? And is the getting on a call with the client, whether it's a free strategy call or proposal, whatever it is it important when you are as a coach trying to sell your services?
Yeah, so it's for two reasons. The primary one that I go in is thinking, can I actually create value to that person? And the second one is, do I want to work with that person? So I'm actually looking at these two different things. Why? Because you can't boil the ocean. Your services is not going to be suitable to everyone. And so I think it's important to have a certain level of filters of your perfect avatar, who you want to deal with, because you also need to be excited. So those are the two things. So discovery calls, strategy calls are really important. Make sure that the expectations are aligned from both sides and that it's a good fit.
So my next question is about personal branding. You're doing it amazingly good. You're writing articles, you're there, here, there, on podcasts. So how important is it? Because people, and most times people think, oh, branding is for big companies, you know, Nike or Coca-Cola. It's not for me. How can I start branding myself if I don't have, you know, unlimited budget? Or what should I start doing? What would you suggest? Is personal branding important? And if yes, how a coach or a consultant can, you know, brand them starting from the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question, and the obvious answer in my model of the world is yes. I've been in different conversations where, some individuals saying, no, but I only get referrals, like from people in my network, so I don't need to put myself out there. And I'm going, well, actually, if you do put yourself out there, you're going to have the luxury of choosing, which clients you want to work with, or if you don't have to work with everyone because all of a sudden you're out of the closet and now your personal branding is there, or you're putting yourself out there. It's a good position to be in if you're getting a lot of business. We live in a day and age where all purchases, so I've read different research around this, but up to around 70% of all purchases are researched before. If you're buying, whether that's a product that's high-end or if it's a service, you're actually going to go online, you're going to check out, who is this black guy? What does he do? Like, who does he know? And just like screen people. And pretty much the purchase decision is made already before they're interacting with you. So you actually want to create enough social proof to make that person comfortable and confident in your capacity. Imagine if you don't. If you love what you're doing, that means that you're depriving people from the gift of offering them your value.
That's true. And that's true because you are online right now. And I know that you're doing challenges, webinars, the webinar week for ladies, for men's, everything, right? So you are the person that tried everything. So
yeah.
Obviously with the COVID time, you have recognized that there is a need, to move to the online world. And
Yeah.
how's it going? So what's your intake and what's your opinion on how it's going to look in the future and what your company is doing about that?
Okay, so this has been amazing for us. And the beauty of online marketing right now is that it can be pretty much done for free. You actually don't have to separate from a lot of money. Now, if you want to do it with finesse and a little bit of style, yes, you should engage with a company, an agency, a graphic designer, a team that does it for you. And it's also rather affordable. The beauty of it is that it's been feeding into my personal brand, but also my business. So we have clients on the corporate side saying, hey, you've been very active and following you on LinkedIn in the past few months, like mashallah. Now we need something B2B. Oh, nice. All right. So there is like a brand spiral. You will support your business and your business will support you. So if you're in that position of working on both ends.
Okay. So is there anything going on right now? Like our viewers can join in on top of buying the book.
Yeah.
Can they join a webinar or challenge or something? Maybe they can schedule a free discovery call. What should they do to get access to you, your company, and your products?
Great. All right. So if you're looking to improve your communication skills and your influence, then please feel free to connect with me personally on LinkedIn and just tell me what your thoughts are. And I'll be so happy to guide you in the right direction, whether it is to get supported with coaching, classes, or simply just watch a video or read a book. So all you need to do is just connect with me on LinkedIn or even email anybody on www.mina-speakers.com.
Great, thank you very much. And my last question would be pre-last question.
Yeah.
What mistakes have you done as a public speaker, a coach, that others can learn from today's podcast?
Okay, so many.
Top three mistakes that others can learn from and not do them.
I'm just gonna say, so with regards to marketing and sales.
Anything.
All right.
As a public speaker and a coach yourself, what have you done that others can avoid doing?
Yeah, so I think I already mentioned this. I think it's really important that you, in the beginning, I was open on like working with all types of personalities, and now I've become more disciplined in saying, actually, this is the type of executives, professionals, growth-oriented individuals. So I don't want to be more motivated to help somebody in changing than them. And so I've reached a point where, I know my perfect client is somebody who wants to grow, somebody who wants to learn. If I meet somebody in my initial conversation who isn't interested in that, and I feel like I'm more motivated than them, or they're showing a lot of resistance, and I know that this isn't a good match, honor that. Because it's, at the end of the day, it's demoralizing for you to be pushing and seeing somebody who doesn't want to rise with you. Yeah. So I would say this is the first one, and so important. The second one is to value your time and not be afraid to put a price tag at what that means, especially when you've reached a point where you're really able to create impact and value for others. So do put a price tag to that and ask for it. Second thing is, so that's not a mistake. The mistake that I did was maybe, I would
not
say,
putting the right price
tag. Not going all out in the beginning, but like lowballing it, just too low actually. And so number 3, I would say is, maybe finding more great partners, like investing in the brand and separating from cash earlier on. I was a bit shy in the beginning. I actually fronted the business and kind of stayed away from it for the first 2 years. I should have actually just said, no, let's invest in myself. It's like step outside your comfort zone, be confident enough to build up a personal brand, create content, have an opinion, say what you think right away, because that definitely supported the brand. When you have a face and a person, people connect to that story much more strongly than to a brand identity only. So that's what I would say.
So number 1 was basically selecting a niche of people that really want to spend money on their growth. They understand the value of it, whether it's a pain that they have that they want to solve or they want to move to the next level. And I cannot highlight how important it is. I faced it myself. I had done this mistake as well. And you cannot give results to those people because they don't want them. That's the second is the price tag, right? Don't undervalue yourself. I believe the price is never the issue. The issue is that you don't select the right target segment and you don't communicate your value correctly.
Nice.
And the third one was about finding the right partners. And putting yourself investing into the business, basically, right?
Investing in your personal brand, like put yourself out there. You will have to, and you need to see it as an investment. If you are a coach or somebody who's providing a service, it's going to be much easier for you if you create enough social proof about who you are and the value you bring. It's going to make the clients feel more comfortable working with you, and they're going to know about what you're doing in advance. So it just saves you a lot of energy, time, and your conversions are gonna be higher.
Perfect. I'm just gonna take out the real strategy here when you say, create a social proof. Should people just ask for video testimonials? Should people ask to, maybe a Google review, to leave a Google review or Facebook review or something that actually not, how can I basically rephrase that, not to leave it to people to go and comment on how great they are, but actually ask them to put the review, to record the video testimonial that you can use, and to actually help you with creating the social proof.
Okay, so I would say you need to meet your prospective clients at the medium and where they are. So if somebody feels comfortable with Google reviews, have enough Google reviews out there. Yes, some might be bad, some might be good. It's okay as long as they're candid. And what's nice is, let's say you start off with not so great. So this is a comment fear. That's fine. Upskill yourself. And so as you upskill yourself, your reviews or testimonials, whatever, will also improve along the way. And who doesn't love a success story or a journey of growth? If you can show that, fantastic. Like if you see some of my first videos out there, They sucked.
Where can we find them?
They're out there somewhere. They're not great, but I have intentionally not removed them. And like I actually watched some of them and I cringe a little bit, but it's okay. I've intentionally not removed them because I want my tribe to be with me on my own growth journey as well. Because it shows we're human, we're learning, we're growing. It's fine.
Loved it. You said we are human, we are learning, we are growing, and you said you need to upskill yourself.
Yeah.
In terms of the business as well, do you agree that people, like coaches and consultants, they are great in what they do, they are experts, but when it comes to business, a lot of them, they actually lack that business, structure and perspective.
Yeah.
So my question here is, when it comes to upskilling yourself, improving your business, yourself, what do you use? Do you read books? Do you watch, online courses? Do you go to conference? What exactly do you use to improve yourself?
Great. So I say this a lot, and I love it because it just, I'm often in conversations with speakers and experts and coaches, similar here, that want to make more money, grow. Great. So I say this. You need to look at yourself as the asset, there's a product, and then there is a CEO. That business happens to have the same name as you. That could be the case. But you still need to separate these two roles. The product, which is the coach, the speaker, the expert, needs to constantly upskill him or herself, become a better coach, a better speaker, better expert, take courses, what have you. The CEO needs to understand business, sales, marketing, customer service, operations, finance, you name it. Both these things need to improve. Sometimes it just happens to be the same person, but you need to separate those. And so the CEO needs to read management books, marketing, branding, get the support for the business, and the product needs to consistently upskill himself. And if your CEO isn't doing a good job, fire the CEO and get somebody else.
It's a great example, great example. So number one lesson that you want people to learn from today's podcast, only one.
Only one? I think if you psychologically can take that last piece of advice, which is you happen to be both these roles, and that you as a CEO needs to do a good job, and if you feel like the CEO isn't doing a good job, you fire the CEO. Like, even if you just take that with you, that might be huge for your business.
Amazing. Love it. Thank you very much, Saana. It was a
you.
pleasure to have you here today. And buy the book, contact Saana on LinkedIn, and follow her articles. They're amazing. Thank you very much, Saana.
Thank you for having me, Vlad.
So many great lessons we have covered in today's episode, starting from LinkedIn, going to the personal branding and why it's so important, and finishing with what mistakes you can avoid as a coach, expert, consultant, or trainer. If you're just starting out or you're already in the business and you're trying to build your business and you have a difficulty with finding the right type of clients, attracting high-paying clients, then converting them and then keeping them within your business, keeping them paying you money, and then not only that, but giving you correct and right referrals. If you want a system that will help you to do that, please just click the link down below, schedule a free strategy call with me or with my team, and we will give you a step-by-step strategy that will help you not only to survive, but also to thrive during this period of time, during this economy. Thank you for watching this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.